Let's go, Cowboy Nation. Let's get this thing going one way or another. Let's get this thing going, Cowboy Nation. Yes. Hit that subscribe button. Join the notification squad. You guys know how this thing go. Let's go, baby. We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about this thing, right? Shout out to those that said the first persons in the chat box. Really appreciate it each and every day. You guys know how this thing locked, loaded, and rolling. We're going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys and the parameters and the boxes that the teams and other people like to put us in. And that's okay. That's cool. But what I'm saying, what Dallas Cowboys need to do is exactly what Jerry Jones is saying what they need to do. And let's go out there and play their guys. You got to. You got to be able to show what we are worthy of, how we can step it up, how we can be in the mix, how we can do this thing all day, every day. You guys understand what we're talking about, right? So with that being said, Cowboy Nation, we're going to tune into, I want to say, first thing first, we like to get into their thoughts and their opinions of everything. And then on top of that, we like, I'm saying this from the deep down at the bottom of my heart, I just love to hear your thoughts. I love to hear your comments. So place those down below as well as we begin to go over just everything in general. I hope that you guys had a wonderful, and I mean a wonderful break, holiday. I hope that everybody is safe and sound. I hope everybody is understanding that life in general is short. So you gotta enjoy the moments and times that we are in right now, and as well as with life itself. So don't forget, guys, I love to hear your thoughts and I love to hear your opinions of everything. But let's go. Let's listen in to what they have to say. Salute.
Cowboys, speaking of Zeke. Oh, what a tangled season the Dallas Cowboys have played thus far. It was not long ago this team was in disarray. Couldn't throw the ball. Had nobody to catch the ball. And their coach was all but fired. A few tweaks, and here they sit, tops in the NFC East and a playoff berth locked up. But when asked if the starters would play on Sunday, Jerry Jones said this.
Jerry Jones.
We're all out. We've got work to do. We've got some work to do out here. I think we'll all agree.
Yes, indeed.
We don't want to, if we can, go into the playoffs with dangling participles, loose ends. Obviously, it rolls off your tongue the way it did with mine. Bart, your reaction to what Jerry Jones had to say. Playing your...
Right before they began to talk, yes, Jerry Jones is of the mindset of, hey, this is what we need to do. Roll up your sleeves and get out there and play. We have not proven anything yet. It's been since 1995 since we made any type of movement in the playoff, in the second level of football, right? So with that being said, we got to get out there one way or another and play this Giants game, fix out what things that we need to improve on. I heard him say earlier today on 105.3 The Fan, shout out to Mike Fisher, who was holding it down. He was saying that, hey, there are some sectors of this playbook that we have yet to open up. So I'm going to repeat, there are some sectors of this playbook we have yet to open up. And to me personally, trust me, I don't know anybody who's advocating for Scott Linehan to have this job forever, right? And I know a lot of people who are upset about Dak Prescott, which rightfully so. I can feel them on that. But for him to say that, Jerry Jones, that's the GM, he's been doing a good job, regardless of how you say it. Playoff two times in 3 years? That's not bad. That's not bad. And then on top of that, what a losing season that he had, one can argue 2015. That's because your starting quarterback went down. You had some other injuries to occur. Hey, it's not looking as worse or as bad as we can think. But let's go, Cowboy Nation. I know we kind of
starts week 17.
On these
well, usually I don't agree with Jerry Jones, who calls me Raymond, by the way. I told him I played for the Ravens. He said, hey, Raymond, thanks for your service. I said, what are you talking about?
Shout out to you.
But that's Jerry. You got to know Jerry. If you see him in the streets, he has no idea who the hell you talking to. But I agree with him with saying that you have to play your starters in week 17. Maybe everybody but Zeke. I'll get Zeke some rest. Maybe you'll put him in for a couple of plays. But this is a young football team without a lot of experience. They need to start setting some things up. You treat this last game like the last playoff game. You want to set up some formations, try some things out, try and tighten up your red zone, offense, or red zone defense, situational football, and see if you can work it out that way.
So here's the thing. I typically, if you have a bye, I don't want to rest in week 17 unless the guy's injured already, is questionable, because then you have 3 weeks to go. If you are locked into a spot and you're going to play the next week and you can give yourself an extra bye week essentially, I like the idea of it for my guys that are dealing with injury. But for the Cowboys, a lot of those guys are offensive linemen. If you take your offensive lineman out.
Yes, indeed, man. Thank you for the donation to help the nation. Jay, he just made the donation in to the pot. Appreciate you. Let's see what he has to say.
Will you be doing the Cowboys experience for the playoff game? Are there sectors we can't open up because we, the players, can't handle it?
No doubt, man. Mr. Truckee, appreciate you for tuning in. Thank you for making a donation as well. Help grow the nation. Yes, thank you for that. Every penny count. He said, so Jay Reese said, will you be doing the Cowboys experience playoff game? Are there sectors where we can't open up because of the players can't handle it? I don't know. I don't know for sure of the overall questioning there. But what I can say, Jay Reese, appreciate for making a donation. We should be having one type of an event for the playoffs. Just stick around, be around, and I'll let you know exactly what we are planning to do in the following days. But shout out to you, man. Really appreciate you for making all of the donation to help grow the nation. And the lady that you guys hear, that's just the lady that's going to read out your comments. When you make $5 or more to contribute to the nation, you're going to hear the lady read out your comments. So I really appreciate those who are contributing and making this thing a wonderful experience all together collectively. But let's listen then to more what Chris Carter got to say and Nick Wright.
Out of it. Now, you're not going to put Dak out there without a quality offensive line in front of him. Now you're taking Dak out of it. And the Cowboys passing game needs as much work as it can get. So,
I agree.
Of course, I think Zeke is a no-brainer to let him rest, or at least have him have a very light workload, because we've talked about what a heavy workload he's had the last 2 months of the year. But who are you taking out? And it's not college football where you've got 100 guys on your roster.
Right.
You got 53, you're only dressing 47. So realistically, the most guys you could rest is 9, 10. And so I look at anyone dealing with an injury, I make sure they're not playing. But I don't think it's as simple as, oh, yeah, rest all your starters. I understand they don't want guys to get hurt, but sometimes resting a starter can lead to a different starter being hurt because you can't rest all of them. I think that's one of the things Jerry obviously is aware of and is thinking about here.
Yeah, Jerry knows what he's talking about.
Yes, indeed. Jerry knows what he's talking about on those parameters. And let me tell you this. If you rest one player, then it's open up a gap for the other player, meaning that the other guy that brings into the game, he may not be as fluent. He may not be as sharp or mind or understanding what the level of tenacity that you have to play with. So at one point, you can embarrass your own team by putting these guys out here that need to start, but you resting them, you see? So it's just one of those things. As we look back at the Colts game, I know that everybody will point their fingers at the whole situation about how Martin was out there and he wasn't out there, and how we needed him out there, but we needed his strength, we needed his rest. And then on top of that, if you remove, I guess, Xavier Su'a-Filo, when he wasn't out there, we saw how poor his offense looked. And of course, I have to say this, and of course, collectively, the offense for the last 3 or 4 weeks been looking trash. But hopefully, like Jerry Jones says from here, hey, get these guys out here. Let's open up some more playbooks. Let's open up everything so we can have a better game, a better overall experience. Let me know. Guys, I don't know if it's choppy a little bit. Always, lady, appreciate you for tuning in. Thank you for telling everyone. Hit that and smash that like button. Smash it up, break it down to pieces, and then also share it. This is the thing. Let me know if you guys can hear me well, and let me know if you guys can see me as well. And let me know if it's not too choppy, so that I can make sure that I'm giving you guys the best production possible. But let's listen in to some more of what they have to say. Appreciate you for your feedback.
I think people, it's unrealistic. The reason why you end up getting the rest is because you've earned it. That's on the bye week. And, of course, it makes sense if you don't have the bye week to play the last game. But the difference in the NFL and all the other sports is rest in that first week, it's not that important. It's about momentum.
Right. There you go, Chris.
In the wild card round, it's about momentum. Ain't no rest. Ain't nobody going into the wild card rested up. And it's impossible to rest your roster and to have a team that can compete in week number 17. Because, to me, I used to always take it like this. And I've been in this spot a number of times. What about the offensive linemen? If they're going to be out there, then I should be out there. If the quarterback's going to be out there, then I should be out there. And it becomes hard to manage your team. If we have a running back, a lot like Ezekiel Elliott, or the guy who is our #1 ball carrier, and if he gets hurt, it's going to change the game, then I can understand giving the back some type of rest. But there's a sense of accountability, all right? When you're on that 53-man roster, everybody can't just rest. And when you're in that locker room, Bart will tell you, we know who needs the rest.
Right.
And so what Jerry is saying is appropriate, especially for a young football team.
Bart, you said earlier it's a good opportunity to try some things out, work on a couple different things in the red zone. How much different does the game plan become in the playoffs than it does in the regular season? I mean, how much are you actually changing and how much are you...
Before Bart get into that aspect of it, look, guys, playoff, you only got one shot at it. And then on top of that, when you're there, you got to take advantages of those opportunities. I remind a lot of people, and I hate to bring this team up, the Giants, right? Everybody remember the Giants in 2007. The Cowboys, we was let down in 2006, and we had our whole mindset to say, in 2007 will be our year. We went 13-3. Everybody was rested. They went to Cabo and things like that and beyond. But this Giants team, all of a sudden, they snuck off into the playoff. They beat the first team that they had to play. What have you, they did. They handled their business. I forgot the team that they played the first week. Then they went up there to Texas Stadium. We was already saying that, hey, Cowboys, we got this. We got Terrell Owens. We got the two-headed monster as far as beast mode, as far as our version of beast mode, the original beast mode, Marion the Barbarian. I'm talking about we had weapons on every side of the ball. We had DeMarcus Ware streaming off the side. We had a defensive-minded coach where we know for sure that they can attack upfield. We had some stingy guys on the outside as it relates to the Newmans of the world and all those guys. We had everything right in our hands. But the team that had the momentum, the team that had the hot hand, the team that wanted it more than we did, the team that was hungry, the team that said, hey, we're not going to no Cabo. We're going to get up there and roll our sleeves, and we're going to let the Cowboys nation know that we're not playing with them. And what happened in 2007? I will sit and wait. And Law, do you have another example besides some team that beat the Cowboys? Yes, Law, I do. I had to speak to myself in third person. Remember the Pittsburgh Steelers. They went wild card one year. Got hot like fire and made it all the way through. And then can I go some more? Are you guys waiting? Or you guys want to hear some more about teams getting hot towards the latter part of the year and then all of a sudden busting it up and winning it all? Hey, can I talk about the Green Bay Packers? I call them the smackers. They was able to corral and say, okay, we made it to the dance. Now let's see what we can do with these moves now. Then everybody see us on the main stage. Now, you see what happened? They figured out a way. All I'm talking about, Cowboys Nation, is not about how you start. If it was, then 2007 is supposed to be the Dallas Cowboys versus the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl, because they was the undefeated team and we was the second hottest team in the NFC. So we got to figure out a way. We saw some similarities in 2016. All of a sudden, nobody knew how to stop the Ezekiel Elliott's of the world. And the young quarterback, they didn't have a lot of tape on him. Now, one can argue the fact, of course, we can talk about the officials and all that stuff. But collectively, we kind of sat back and we kind of made it seem as if, though, we got the first round bye and we deserve to be in this spot. And we're privileged enough to go ahead and win this other game because we figured things out. But no. We got to keep it rolling. We got to keep it going. And Bart, I think that he's going to talk about those parameters. Let's go, Cowboy Nation.
You're just tweaking.
Well, you understand you're self-scouting, right? You understand what teams and the opponent expect. So you want to make sure that you work on your specialty plays. You want to put some fake punts on film so that the opponent that you're going to face has to prepare for things that maybe they didn't have to prepare for because they're breaking you down. They've been, you know, the teams that are going to the playoffs are breaking down their potential opponents and making sure that they can go through their 5-game, 4-game script. You know, what's their formations, what's their tendencies, what plays do they like on third down. So they're devising a plan for that. You know, so you got to make sure that you put some stuff on film that they haven't seen and also start practicing on things. You're going to practice on things, you're going to have 2 game plans, right? You're going to have the game plan that you're going to play for the Giants, but then you're going to have your game plan for your potential opponents. So you'll have your starters work on half of those plays and then work on the plays for for that game because you don't really care about the Giants other than that they're a divisional opponent that you hate?
I haven't seen a game plan in the regular season
that
match with the type of intensity and the type of chances you have to take in the playoff. I have very seldom ever seen a defense say, you know something, this quarterback's not that good, we're going to sit back and allow him to throw. No, if he's not that good in the playoffs, and they might do that in the regular season. In the playoffs, they are going after him. The games are officiated different. The energy on the field is different. So Bart is right. You set up a couple of things to plant some seed in the other team's mind so that they have to prepare for it. Now, you know you're going to take more chances offensively. You're going after the quarterback against their offense. And offensively, you know you got to get conversions on third down, and you know you got to make big plays or your season's going to end. So how you go about both of them is totally different. But the intensity we're going to see next week, oh, man, it's going to be ratcheted up, and guys will be taking more chances.
I do think there's an opportunity for a team in the position the Cowboys is, which is win or lose, you are locked into the 4th seed in the NFC, your exact playoff seeding. 2, if there's a guy on your roster that you have really liked how he's been playing, maybe a guy that's typically inactive on game day, that you've really liked how he's been practicing, and you want to see what he looks like up against a legitimate NFL competition, get him more snaps. If there's things like that I think, I don't think you coach this Week 17 game like you would if it was win and get in, like the Colts-Titans will this on Sunday night where the winner goes to the playoffs. I do think you can take advantage of your situation.
You can.
And I think you can be smart as far as during the game. If a guy gets nicked and it's the type of injury where he normally would go back in, anyone like that, I would. So I don't treat it. I do recognize my situation, but I think it's too easy to simply say rest your starters. Well, who are your starters? You got 22 of them, so now you're going to play with a 25-man football team? Like, that obviously can't happen. And if you rest any offensive lineman, it seems foolish to put your quarterback out there. So you've got to kind of follow the logic to its furthest conclusion.
Got to get Cooper his 1,000 yards, too, so you can look like executive of the year, Jerry.
Oh, okay. You let guys go first.
Yeah, so with that being said, I don't think you do anything for style. You know, I don't like that aspect of it, just getting a guy out there for validations. And you guys know what I see when I talking about validation. It's only good for parking. I don't like that. You know, got to get to 1,000 yards so it can look good on paper. No. You don't do that aspect of it. But it's all about momentum, and that's what I can't agree with. Cowboy Nation, one way or another, that's all the time on the little first thing first. We will pick up other topics throughout the day. But I want to know your comments. I want to know your thoughts before I get out of here. I'm going to try to leave at, I guess, 10 till or I guess 15 till or what have you. So I got a few seconds with you guys, a few moments and a few minutes with each and every last one of you all. I just want to do a quick shout out to those that's been following the channel for a minute. Shout out to Always Ladies, Savage Time, South of Heaven. Appreciate you, John S., Matt T, Jerry, Reese, Justin. If I forgot or omit your name or left it out, charge it to my head, not my heart. So I want to do this right here. For those that's in the chat box, Q&A time, do you guys agree resting your players, or do you want to go with the mindset of locking it up and putting everything out there on the line and getting things going in the right direction? Let me know. I really want to know. Boog Thomas, shout out to you. Thank you for tuning in to the nation. And one for each finger. And that's what I'm talking about. That's a cold name. And we got to start on the other hand now, one for each finger. So you're going to have to change that name up by the end of this year, right? Yes, indeed, man. Rodney, what's good, man? Locking it up. Yes. Guys, go follow South of Heaven 88 page. Appreciate you guys. Sheila Neal, thank you for tuning in to the nation. Mike VA Beach, what's good with you, fam? We are coming back on. Yes, smash that like button. Yes, Janiqua. Yes, follow Janiqua. Let her know. You know what I'm saying? Do what she says right there. Smash that like button. Share this content. All right, so I'm reading somebody that's over here. Let's see what we have. Let's put the work in. Yes, Frisco, what's good, man? Lock it up for now. Show every team that what Dallas is all about. That's what I'm talking about. Put some foreign stuff out there on tape. Do an end around with Michael Gallup if you need to. Also with that, put Michael Gallup at kickoff return. Do something crazy. Do something that you're going to have the other team at least 3 to 4 hours studying, seeing, okay, man, they put D-Law into the inside all of a sudden. You can do things like that to play a little trickery, to have people. It's all about edge at this time. And then also it's all about momentum as well. Now, regardless of whether we play Seattle Seahawks or we play the Minnesota Vikings, or if somehow one way or another, I want to say this, the Shigos, if they make it to the playoff. If for some strange reason, if they figure out a way to make it in, we got to be ready. Because the first playoff game for us is at home. And we got to show up 100,000 strong, willing to put everything down on the line. We cannot look like we looked like against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, believe it or not, from the offensive side of the ball. Right? And then on top of that, we cannot look like what we look like on the Colts. When we played against the Colts on both sides of the ball, we cannot look like that. We do not want to see that out there when they get to playoff time. The best thing that we want to look like, regardless of the situation or scenario, I do know this. We only put up, 12 or 13 points against the Saints? But that's the best tenacity and the strength and the wherewithal that we need to have out there, playing out there on Texas Stadium. That's what we need to look like coming up in the following weeks. We got to look like that game, because if we play with that type of temperament and that type of tenacity out there on the field, regardless of come hell and high water, this type of defense, like we played against the Saints, man, we can make it far. That momentum, that one playoff victory, that one playoff win can propel this team to measures beyond our thoughts, right? But we got to figure out a way to get that momentum into the game, because I can argue this in 2016. Of course, we can argue about this offense, how slowish, how sluggish, I meant to say, and how porous the offense was. But, man, we didn't wake up until the second half. The defense was horrible. We started to wake up a little bit. Jeff Heath made some plays. Even, I would say, Orlando Scandrick coming blitzing off the edge and things like that. To me, personally, this defense and this offense cannot look like what we did in 2016 against the Green Bay Smackers. We cannot look like that. We have to figure out the way to score early and often, although our offense turned the page and got really things going. And when we do this too, if we average in 6.7 yards or 6-point yards carries beyond, we got to have Ezekiel Elliott being the highlighted player. And then next year, we can figure out other things from there. Young Wilson, appreciate you for tuning in to the nation. Yes, we kicked the Saints' butt, period. Yes, Victor, medley, but a lot of people, the national media, would never give us that credit, which was cool. I like being the underdog. I want us to be so much of the underdog coming into this playoff, which I know that it won't, because even if we so happen to beat down the Giants this weekend, and we beat them in like a fantastic way, then all of a sudden everybody, most of the fickle fans and the bandwagon fans are going to come back on with their silver and blue. They're going to pull their jerseys out of the trash can, and they're going to be like, yeah, come on Cowboys, and all this stuff. And I'll be sitting there saying, where were you when we was 3-5? I don't want you to jump on this team when we winning. I want you to be down here in the trenches. I want you to be down here when you know for sure that through the 8-8s, through the 4-12s or what have you, I want you then to have that same energy like me and the rest of these YouTubers out here. We're rocking and locking and rolling it around. Even though we lose, and we still up here talking about these Cowboys every Sunday and every day. Appreciate you, Young Wizard, for making the donation to help grow the nation, man. Help building this nation. This is Cowboy Nation. It's just my name on it. I'm just renting this spot as though you guys call me Law Nation, but this is really Cowboy Nation. We need to be on point. Yes, warm it up and get the game. No letdowns. Coaches, coach, players, execute. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Streamlabs, what's up? Thank you for being part of this mix. Joseph, appreciate you for tuning in. Ha, 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 fickle fans. Yes, indeed, Cowboy Nation. One way or another, hey, we got a Wolf Howl request. Appreciate you, Boog Thomas. Let's get this thing going. Hey, I'm going to deliver the promise. Yeah. Yes, indeed, Cowboy Nation. That's all the time I have for this wonderful midday report. And I thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Salute. Let's ride on out of here. Don't forget to hit that like button. Share this content. Hey, did I tell you I'm on a podcast? I'm on iTunes, Spotify. Just type in LAW Nation and you'll see either my face or logo. And then on top of that, if you got the Roku players, hit me up on the Roku. You'll see the information there. LAW Nation for the information on the Roku. Miss Scouting Pro, appreciate you. Thank you for being part of the mix. Let's go. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. Let's roll with it. Let's jam on out of here, man. Yeah. Play execution all day, every day, baby. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Philly, do something. Audio Technica. That's the headset we use all day. Yeah. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. We're out. Peace.